And at this time, I am calling this meeting to order. The Sacramento County Sanitation District's Financing Authority and the Sacramento County Regional Sanitation District. And if the clerk would please call the roll and establish quorum.
Director Bruins?
Present.
Carr? Harris?
Here.
Howell?
Here.
Hume? Kennedy? Lee?
Here.
Oh. Lee?
Lee, I'm here.
McGarvey?
Here.
Natoli?
Here.
Orozco?
Here.
Peters?
Here.
Cerna?
Here.
Villegas?
Here.
Warren? And Frost. You have a quorum.
We have a quorum. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
Republic for which it stands.
And one nation, God, with liberty and justice for all.
That's different. Okay. In compliance with directives of the county, state, and Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, this meeting is live streamed and closed to the public. Temporary procedures are subject to change pursuant to guidelines related to the social distancing and minimizing person-to-person contact. Members of the public are encouraged to submit public comments electronically. Public comments will be distributed to members of the board and filed in the meeting record. Public comments may be related to a specific agenda item number or for a matter that is not posted on the agenda, referred to as off-agenda item. To make an electronic public comment, email boardclerk@saccounty.net. Include agenda item number and it's optional to include the first and last name. Or you can go online to http://bospublicmeetings.saccounty.net and click on Make a Comment electronically. For the board members who have kindly called in to this meeting, if you wish to speak at any time during the meeting, simply say your name and get my attention, and I will be more than happy to recognize you. And at this time, I'm going to ask the clerk if she would kindly read the video statement.
This meeting of the Sacramento Regional County Sanitation and Sacramento Area Sewer Districts is being recorded and will be broadcast on Sunday, May 17th at 6 p.m. on Metro Cable 14, the Local Government Affairs channel on the Comcast Consolidated Communications and AT&T UVerse cable systems. The meeting is closed captioned for our hearing impaired viewers. In accordance with the Government Code 54952.3, compensation for meeting of these legislative bodies is required to be verbally disclosed. The amount of $100 will be paid for each member participating today as a member of the Sacramento Regional County Sanitation District, and the amount of $100 will be paid for each board member participating today as a member of the Sacramento Area Sewer District. Compensation for Sacramento County supervisors and City of Sacramento council members is paid to the county and city respectively to partially offset the costs of those governments. Compensation for other board members is delivered to the individuals.
Thank you. Now moving forward with Section 1, Timed Matters, Sacramento County Sanitation District's Financing Authority and the Sacramento Regional County Sanitation District separate matters. Next item, please.
Item number 1, approve the Sacramento Regional County Sanitation District and the Sacramento County Sanitation District's Financing Authority fiscal year 2020-21 final budgets.
And this morning, our presenter is Prabhakar, and I think Prabhakar has an update for us.
Yeah, good morning, Chair and members of the board. At the last board meeting, I have presented the highlights of the budget for Regional SAN. The board did not ask for any changes in terms of the dollar amount. There were a couple of questions raised. One was from Director Cerna related to the IT expenditures, and that question I've answered via email within a day or so after the board meeting. And there was also a question related to our use or non-use of the county park rangers at the treatment plant. And our counsel, Mr. Whitman, sent a note to Director Natoli, who asked that question. So what I'm asking today is, since you have not made a request for any changes to the dollar amounts, the dollar amounts remain the same. So I request your approval for the item. Since both the Financing Authority Board and the Regional Sand Board are this one and the same, one vote would be sufficient. But when it gets to the SASD Board, we would look at two different votes. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, and do we have any board members who have questions?
This is Jeannie. I move approval. I'll second that.
Okay, so we have a motion by Director Bruins and a second by, I'm sorry,
Director Howell.
Director Howell. Thank you. And any other discussion? All those in favor, we will do a roll call vote. Sorry.
Director Bruins,
Aye.
Director Carr, Director Harris,
Aye.
Director Howell,
Yes.
Hume, Kennedy,
Aye.
Lee,
Aye.
McGarvey,
Aye.
Natoli,
Aye.
Orozco,
Aye.
Peters,
Aye.
Cerna,
Aye.
Villegas,
Aye.
Warren, Frost.
Aye.
And the motion passes by unanimous vote with the members present.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Item number 2, acting as your Sacramento County Sanitation District's Financing Authority and Sacramento Regional County Sanitation District separate matters, authorize issuance of one or more series of additional bonds to pay for the Echo Water Project refunding of 2000C bonds, termination of the 2000C swap, and refunding of the 2011A bonds.
Good morning, Joe Mastretti, our Chief Financial Officer.
Good morning, Chair, board members. Can I have the presentation? Thank you. This morning we have a presentation on our request to issue additional bonds in 2020. And as you can recall, the long-term financial plans have been focusing on debt restructuring, basically to achieve some stable monthly service rates for our customers for many years. And primary strategy here would be to reduce the peak annual debt service that will occur in fiscal years 2023-4 through 2035-36. This is where we have a lot of our existing bond debt maturing, and then we've been adding on top of that the SRF debt to finance the Echo Water Project. So we're going to try to reduce that peak by doing some restructuring. We also need to transition all of our variable rate debt and swaps away from the LIBOR index, which is scheduled to go away at the end of 2021. We're always looking for opportunities to reduce the risk and cost of our debt portfolio overall, so this is another step in that direction. And these will be the first of several transactions needed for the restructuring. Probably 3 main transactions and a couple of smaller amendments. Looking at the financing plan for this particular bond issue, we're calling them the additional bonds this time because we don't know exactly how many series of bonds we'll issue, depending on the market and the different components of this bond issue. So we'll just call them the additional bonds for 2020 right now. It may end up 2020A, 2020B, or something like that. It's going to be made up of a new issue that would provide $150 million worth of proceeds for the Echo Water Project to finish up the financing there. Refund the Series 2000C variable rate bonds and terminate the related swap. And also to refund the Series 2011A bonds for savings and restructuring. This would be a fixed-rate financing that would take advantage of the historically low rates that we continue to see in the market. Although there's been some recent volatility based, because of the pandemic, overall, I think the rates are still historically low. And it's an opportunity for us to restructure some of the principal and reduce that peak between 2024 and 2036. The first component is the $150 million worth of proceeds to finance the Echo Water project. This would replace some of the approval that we already have for SRF loans. We have approximately, or a little bit more than $400 million worth of loan balance remaining there. But we're proposing to use municipal bonds instead for the last portion. The bond principal amortization can be structured around the existing debt service to reduce that peak that we were talking about. This, of course, begs the question, why not continue to use SRF loans? Because they're already approved, they're low cost. The basic reason is because of this principal amortization. We already have approximately $900 million worth of SRF loans, so we have taken advantage of that to a great extent already. Going forward, some of the Echo Water project costs may not be eligible for SRF loan reimbursement. If it's not in your original budget for your loan approval, they won't allow it. So a lot of the change order costs that come in late in the projects might not be eligible. And we're looking at a little bit less financing needs going forward. We were able to pay go a lot of the costs already, and we could probably pay go the last few years of this because it'll be stretched out up to 5 years, I believe. If it's not in your original budget, looking
I'd like
at
to ask the board members that are on the call if you could mute your phone unless you're speaking. It will help us be able to hear better. Thank you.
Okay, looking at the refunding of the 2000 C bonds, this would replace the variable rate debt of $100 million and the related swap. We would amortize some of the principal a little bit sooner to reduce that peak that we were talking about. This would eliminate the LIBOR transition risk for this particular debt and swap. It also eliminates the letter of credit risk and the remarketing risk that we have with this particular security, which we find is very volatile in the markets right now. When the markets really get crazy, this particular bond and swap do not match up very well anymore. So this is a good time to look at replacing this particular bond and swap. We're trying to do a net present value neutral transaction where we don't have to pay extra to get rid of it. A couple months ago, we were kind of in a positive situation. Right now, it's sort of negative. So we're looking to get close to the neutral net present value savings on this so we don't have to take a loss on it. But we still need to transition away from this by the end of 2021 for the LIBOR transition.
Are you saying then that you're going to hold the LIBOR and try to hang on and just do the swap at just the right time? And what is the timeline on that?
Right.
It could be months?
We still have, we could drag this particular transaction out for several months. We're not desperate. We don't have to go to the market right away and do this transaction. We still have plenty of time, but we would like to start working on our restructuring, and this would be one of the first things we'd want to take care of. It's a little bit different than what you saw in the long-term financial plan. The last update that we did, we were going to pay all of this off with cash, and also all of the 2011A bonds with cash. But we're looking right now to hold on to our reserves as much as we can in the present environment. We can also generate a lot of savings just by restructuring these. So that's kind of the direction we're heading right now.
And does this retire the last variable and the last LIBOR? Is LIBOR the only variables that we have?
All of our variable rate debt and swaps are related to LIBOR, so we have to deal with all of them. But some of them, they're all slightly different animals. This one is what's known as VRDO debt, variable rate demand obligations, which fund money market accounts. This is the type of investment that money market accounts invest in, tax-exempt money market accounts. That market has been shrinking over the last 10, 15 years. And every time it goes through a very volatile situation like it is now, it shrinks even faster. So that tends to make it even more volatile because there's fewer transactions that occur in that market. This market also requires a letter of credit, which could be drawn on if all of the bonds are put back to the district at one time. So there's a cost there, and there's also a renewal risk there. There's also a remarketing risk every time the bonds do get put back. We have always been very successful in remarketing them, so it hasn't been a problem yet. But we've noticed that when the market gets really volatile like it did in March, this particular bond and swap go opposite directions, which is just the opposite of what you want to have with a hedge. So fortunately for us, that dislocation only occurred for a very short period of time, so it didn't cost us a lot of money. But it shows us what the risks are, and so it would be prudent for us to get rid of this particular one first. It's also short relative to our other swaps, but it's still 10 years, so it's going to go well beyond the LIBOR transition date, which is the end of 2021.
I think just to summarize or follow up on Director Frost's question is that we're not going to be getting rid of all the variable rate debt. We will still have variable rate debt with us after this transaction. It's only a linkage to LIBOR is what we are transitioning away from. We have, I think, about $600 million approximately in the variable rate debt of the roughly $1.3 or $4 billion portfolio that we have. So that balance will still roughly be the same. It's how it's linked is what it's being.
So if we didn't get rid of the LIBOR debt and it transitioned away, we would end up having to short sell. It would be basically...
Yeah, he was explaining there
lose
was a
money,
volatility that would get hurt us because that linkage is going to go away by the end of 2021. Our goal is to, ahead of that going away, more orderly fashion transition out of it. That's the effort.
Right. We would like to transition on our own terms as
Right.
opposed to just what the market might give us at the end of that transition period. We would, like Prabhakar said, we would continue to maintain some of our variable rate debt portfolio. We plan to restructure the 2007 B bonds, which is our largest one. It's about $350 million worth, by cutting it up into 2 or 3 different pieces and retaining part of it as a variable rate debt with a new swap, and part of it we could probably fix out and maybe even pay off part of it. The other 4 debts that we have are direct purchases that we have with banks, so they don't trade normally in the market. We've had pretty good relationship with the banks that we have here, and we've even got proposals recently from another bank to do that kind of transaction. So that part of the variable rate debt portfolio is pretty stable. So we're not too worried about that transition. We only have to deal with one party to make the transition, to amend the agreements. So it's pretty easy to do. Bonds that are publicly traded, like these 2000 Cs and the 2007 B bonds that are publicly traded, are much more difficult to amend because you can't communicate with all the different bondholders. But we can call these debts at any time, so that gives us the flexibility to restructure them at our option at the time we think is best for us, in the manner that's best for us.
One more thing I want to clarify is that the variable rate debt that we have that was issued a long time ago, and we have not issued variable rate debt for quite some time, and we'll have no plans to issue variable rate debt anytime in the future, at least that we can think of.
With fixed rate so low, why would you?
Right.
That's right.
We can easily put together something that's a lot more stable at still very low cost.
Yep.
The 2011A bonds have a 2021 par call date, so that gives us three basically refunding options. We can do an advance refunding right now with taxable bonds. We can do a tax-exempt forward delivery where we price the bonds now and deliver them on the call date. Both of those situations have a premium that we would need to pay, so that reduces your savings. We could wait until the call date and then do a current tax-exempt refunding at that point, which we might do if we can't get savings near the 10%. We can always delay these transactions or these components, so we can pull them out. If we want to finish the transaction now, we can actually wait a little while. And I think that's what we're probably going to do is once the board approves this, we will wait until the market calms down enough to where we're comfortable with these transactions. If we do this portion of the transaction now, we would want to contribute $10.5 million of our cash to the 2023 maturity. This is one of the years that we want to restructure a little bit. This is the only series of debt that we have maturities in that year that we can actually defease. So that's why we want to target that particular maturity. And as I mentioned before, we had previously looked at just defeasing the entire issue with cash in the past. Now we want to preserve our cash, and we can apply that to a different transaction later if we don't need to use those reserves for something else right now. The transaction team that we have, the advisors are the same ones that we've had for many years. They know us well. They know the markets well. And then the underwriters that have been selected, we did a request for proposal. We got 10 very good responses from underwriting firms. These were the top three. B of A Securities would be the senior manager, and JP Morgan would be the co-manager. We could bring on Jefferies. If we end up doing the larger transaction, we would need a bigger syndicate, and Jefferies would be a co-manager. If it's a smaller transaction, we would just use the top two underwriters. This is the anticipated financing schedule. It's very flexible. As you can see, it's already changed a little bit from the board letter that we put together a couple of weeks ago. We're looking now at maybe a pricing date of June 9th. We could delay it even further if the market isn't to our liking at that time. We're very flexible, and we'll execute it at the proper time that would provide the most benefit for the district. So we recommend that you approve the resolutions authorizing the additional bonds. And we'd be happy to address any questions or comments you might have.
I have one question. Does the COVID-19 impact any of our underwriters for these bonds or any of our banks?
I'm sure they're having some impacts. I don't know off the top of my head what they are. They're very anxious to do this transaction with us. I don't think they have any problem doing that type of transaction. They don't actually have to buy the bonds directly unless they can't market them on pricing day. We picked some of the bigger banks that are well capitalized in case they do have to buy all the bonds. They have the capacity to do that. All three of these underwriters have worked with us in the past with very successful transactions, so we're pretty confident they can do that at this time. They've all been doing transactions all through this this market volatility, so they can execute the transaction without any trouble, I think.
Do we have any board members who have questions or comments?
If there are none, I'll move staff recommendation.
Okay.
Jeannie, I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion by Director Howell and a second by Director Bruins. And if the clerk would please call the vote.
Director Bruins?
Aye.
Carr?
Aye.
Harris?
Aye.
Howell?
Aye.
Hume? Kennedy?
Aye.
Lee?
Aye.
McGarvey?
Aye.
Natoli?
Aye.
Orozco?
Aye.
Peters?
Aye.
Cerna?
Aye.
Villegas?
Aye.
Frost?
Aye.
I'm sorry, and Warren. Motion passes by unanimous vote with those members present.
Thank you, Alma. And I also want to say, Joe, that it's comforting to know that you are managing our risk and positioning us so well during volatile times. And I know over a long term, managing all the bonds is a big deal, but it's nice to know. It's comforting the way the sanitation district has done such a great job in managing things. So thank you very much. And our next item, please.
Item number 3, acting as your Sacramento County Sanitation District's Financing Authority and Sacramento Area Sewer District, separate matters. Approve the Sacramento Area Sewer District and the Sacramento County Sanitation District's Financing Authority fiscal year 2020-21 final budgets.
Good morning, Chair and members of the board. Again, we presented this budget last month, and there were no questions or requests for changes. This is the one that would require 2 votes, one from the Financing Authority because of the capital budget. So let's go with the capital budget first. If you don't have any questions, let's do it the capital budget vote. Every member present today is part of the Financing Authority. Then the second vote is the operating budget, where only SASD members vote for that.
Okay.
So that's just a sequence.
So moving forward as the financing authority, do we have any questions, comments, or a motion?
This is Jeff Harris. I'll move approval.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion by Director Harris, second by Director Howell, and please read the
Director Bruins?
Aye.
Director Carr?
Aye.
Director Harris?
Aye.
Howell?
Aye.
Hume? Kennedy?
Aye.
Lee?
Aye.
McGarvey?
Aye.
Natoli?
Aye.
Orozco?
Aye.
Peters?
Aye.
Cerna?
Aye.
Villegas?
Aye.
And Warren? And Frost.
Aye.
Motion passes by unanimous vote with those members present.
And now moving forward as Sacramento Area Sewer District, do we have,
Director Natoli moved.
we have a
I'll
motion.
second.
We have a motion by Director Natoli, a second by Director Howell. And please call the roll.
Director Bruins?
Aye.
Director Carr?
Aye.
Director Frost?
Aye.
Director Howell?
Aye.
Director Kennedy?
Aye.
Natoli?
Aye.
Peters?
Aye.
Cerna?
Aye.
McGarvey?
Aye.
Hume? And the motion passes with those members present.
Thank you.
For
Now-
the record, this is Director Lee. I'm the alternate, and I also vote aye since Director Keenan.
Excuse me, thank you, sir, for.
Thank you, Director Lee.
Unanimous vote of the members.
Thank you. Now moving forward as Sacramento Regional County Sanitation District, district consent matters.
Item number 4, contract number 4212, final contract acceptance of the Echo Water Project nitrifying side stream treatment project.
Before you approve this item, I just wanted to make a note that the letter has changed slightly after we have published the package. The change order price went from what was included in your board package is $1,896,684.50. It increased to $1,949,778. The percentage went from 4.7 to 4.83%. So I've distributed the revised letters this morning for the clerk to put in correctly, and also the members present here. So I ask for your approval.
Thank you for that clarification. Do we have any questions, comments, or a motion for approval?
I'll move consent.
Second.
We have a
I'll second
motion.
it, Ms. Keeney.
We have a motion by Director Howell and the first second by Director McCarty, who is sitting here with me in the board chambers. And if the clerk would please call the vote.
Bruins,
Aye.
Carr, Harris,
Aye.
Howell,
Aye.
Hume, Kennedy,
Aye.
Lee,
Aye.
McGarvey,
Aye.
Natoli,
Aye.
Orozco,
Aye.
Peters,
Aye.
Cerna,
Aye.
Viegas,
Aye.
Warren, Frost.
Aye.
Unanimous vote with those members present, and the motion passes.
Thank you. And at this time, we move to public comment. I do not have any public comment cards, and I do not see any request for public comment.
The clerk of the board's office did not receive any public comment.
Okay, thank you. And so we will move on to the next item, please.
Acting as your Sacramento Regional County Sanitation District and Sacramento Area Sewer District, District Separate Matters, Miscellaneous Director, and District Engineer Matters.
Prabhakar.
Sure. Thank you, Chair. So first and foremost, we will not have a meeting in June. No more meetings in May. The next meeting will be on July 22nd. We'll send the emails out to you and your staff so that they can be put on the calendar. Given the social distancing practices that we probably are going to have to maintain for foreseeable future, it's likely that July meeting and the meetings beyond that we may continue in this fashion until if there is a change in the Brown Act relief that we currently have. So I think it seems to be working okay, so this is probably how we're going to continue the board meetings. My sense is that we'll probably have only one meeting a month at most. We'll try to consolidate our work that way so that it's easier for the board members to call in and participate. April revenues, we have, I'm sure it's on everybody's mind as you are dealing with your other obligations, how the revenues are coming. I think the only slight dip that we have seen, although it may be a little too early, is in the impact fee revenue for regional SAN. The revenues have dropped a little bit, but we were ahead of the budget going into March, so it would not be a concern even if we don't get any more impact fee revenues for the rest of the 2 months that we have in this fiscal year. That would not be a problem. Our rest of the revenues are coming in almost as scheduled or as we have seen in the past years. SASD's revenues are in a good shape, very good shape. Our impact fee revenues were substantially higher than what we had budgeted already. So we've actually exceeded our annual goal for the impact fee revenues. And also because of the non-operating revenues that we've received early this year from other sources, the budget also is in a very good shape. We should be able to close the year at or above what we had budgeted for the revenue side of it. So the district's revenues are looking very good. And our reserves have also increased. I think SASD, we're about $130 million in reserves. And then also regional sand, we're about 480 million plus, which did not include, there's about $90 million in the SRF reimbursements that we had submitted, of which about 50 million we received after the month had closed. So we're in the $500+ million reserves for the regional sand site. So that one is good as well. And we can withstand some modest changes, reductions that we're offering to our commercial customers that we've already implemented, which should not have any material impact on our ability to continue our services. Staff are continuing to provide services for the most part normally, and we're preparing to bring some of the office staff back when the time is permitted. But one of the most important things we're working on is how to maintain the continuity of the services for the field staff that are already there. One of the things that we are struggling, obviously, is to getting the PPEs, sufficient PPEs available to us. Normally, there's a certain use of the PPEs, but with this pandemic, there's additional use on it. Originally, we were going to purchase through the OES as a bulk purchase through the county OES, which they had offered, but for some reason that did not go through. So now everybody is trying to purchase through their sources. Some of those purchases aren't coming through. For example, we've placed an order for N95 masks, which we use as part of our work, and that hasn't been delivered. It was supposed to be delivered 2 weeks ago. And so our plan is to strengthen our things related to the existing field workers first before we bring any office staff back and put additional resource burden on the PPE. So that is how we want to do. Even when we bring the office staff back, we're going to do it in a phased fashion, probably staggered, to make sure that the workplace is not crowded. And so we're looking at the workplaces in terms of how to reconfigure if there needs to be. Also, for example, some of the guidance suggests that we need to scan for temperature for people as they are coming in, but the scanners aren't available. You can't get them, especially if you're looking at the remote scanning capabilities and things which we need to work on. So it'll take some time to get all of those things in place and gradually bring people back. In doing so, what we will do is make sure that we segregate the folks with underlying conditions and have some special needs. For example, the schools are closed where they need to stay home because of school closures. Those are the folks that we'll try to, as long as we can, accommodate through the telecommute type options as flexibly as we can. So that's kind of the plan that we are working on. Try to position ourselves to bring back to some semblance of normality, but we recognize it's going to be somewhat abnormal, probably until we get a vaccine or some therapeutics, strong therapeutics that are in the place. So it'd be some months before we get to that. So those are the things that I wanted to share with the board in terms of what we've been doing with the 2 districts. That concludes my.
Do you feel like the remote workplace is working pretty well, though?
In some instances, actually, there may be, I don't know if we are able to keep the efficiencies that we're seeing in the long term. The one thing I noticed, because I'm on a lot of meetings, it is more draining and taxing if you are focusing, because I think as you look at it, listening, if you, the verbal cue, the cues, the body language and things are a lot part of the discussion, which we miss, especially on the telephone conversations, even with the go-to meetings. So initially we are relatively efficient, but in the long term, if this is going to continue for a long time, I don't know how that is going to be. So that is the reason why we're looking at more of a staggered schedule, so we get some office and some home kind of thing. It's new for everyone.
Yeah, we're humans. We're not meant to be isolated, so it's not easy.
That's right.
Director McGarvey.
Yeah, and I talked to you earlier today, the school and the kids at home and all that sort of thing. How is that affecting staff? Because that takes a lot of time sometimes. You can't do the work that you would normally do. plus how many people in the doing our contractors out there building our new sanitation thing in Elk Grove, those contractors, the people with the concrete and all that sort of thing, how many of them are being affected because they have to be home because of their kids and all that sort of thing?
So let me address the contract side first, and then if additional discussion needed, Ruben is online, he can chime in. Largely, at least until last week, our contracts at the plant side were unaffected. But one of the large contractors last week started a 50% work schedule, meaning that stagger them, so one team comes in 1 week and the other team comes in the next week. So there's some effect by doing that. Obviously, there's going to be a reduction. So what we've said is the contracts allow for the time extension, but not compensation in case those kinds of things happen. So we've offered the time extension. In terms of the work staff-wise, what we've done is, instead of accomplishing the work in a fixed 8-hour schedule, we've given them the flexibility to get their work done in a much longer schedule. So when you have a childcare needs, they can, if they have another person at home, another family member, they can trade off and spend a few hours on work and then go back, take care of the childcare needs, and come back and do the rest of it. So we're trying to be very flexible as much as we can. And also, there's an emergency sick leave that was authorized, 80 hours, which is available if you have a childcare needs where you cannot do the work, and that could be used. And also, there is an emergency FMLA, which provides for an additional 10 weeks of partial compensated time off, where it can be coordinated with their vacation sick leave so that they can get the full compensation in case they can't even work in this flexible schedule. So we're offering as much flexibility as we can, and asking them to use emergency sick leave only in the case where they cannot do the work in the flexible fashion. That's how we're dealing with it.
Okay, well, thank you. I was just kind of concerned about some of our staff, about the people working on the concrete and all the rest of that there, because it's affecting a lot of people. I know we had some family members back east. We lost one of them to the coronavirus, and so I'm just thinking now and in the future, for at least the next few months anyway, until we get a virus, vaccine, as you said. So hopefully that'll be done soon.
Yeah.
But thank you for the information about that.
Thank you.
Yeah, Madam Chair, Director Natoli.
Yes, Director Natoli.
Yeah, Prabhakar, thanks for the update and for, I think all the good work the district's doing to try to accommodate but also maintain service levels. The question is for the future meetings. I know that we've been working on a number of septic conversion projects, and since we're not meeting in June, do you anticipate that you'll be to us in July with an update and maybe some seeking some further direction around some of those projects, which are in various stages? And I don't want to get ahead of you, but now with this abbreviated meeting schedule, I think it's important with some of those projects as we work with communities, certainly ones that I'm familiar with, that you're working with communities, throughout the county. So.
Yeah, so we are scheduled to bring that item on July 22nd. To give you an update on that. And also, you would want to know that we have those projects and several other projects from both Regional San and SAST we have included in the SACOG list. SACOG have collected a list of projects that they are advocating for as part of the infrastructure bill that may come about from the federal government. So we're already working through to put as many places where we can to include these projects in for the potential opportunities for additional grants and so forth. And we'll bring that update to you on July 22nd.
All right. Thank you very much. That's all.
Thank you, Director Natoli. Any other comments or questions from the board? Okay, thank you very much for the update, Prabhakar. And at this time, we'll move forward to the Sacramento Area Sewer District separate matters. Next item, please.
Item number 7, interim urgency ordinance authorizing the district engineer to waive sewer rate delinquency penalties.
So what we're asking today is SASD's ordinance does not have any flexibility for me to waive penalties associated with delinquencies. So this is an emergency ordinance which gives me the flexibility to waive those penalties for up to a year. Starting on March 19th is when the public health order was issued. So the way that we're doing is anybody that's calling in, that we are placing those penalties on hold, and this ordinance is retroactive to that date. But in essence, if we waive the penalties, we're probably looking at losing maybe about $1 million to $2 million in the next year recovery, which in our case, we should be able to withstand. Again, the regional SAN, even though SASD collects for regional SAN the revenues, of the $2 million, roughly about 2/3 of that belongs to regional SAN. It's kind of lost revenue for regional SAN, and which again, in both districts' cases, we should be able to withstand those losses and be able to offer this in this difficult times. So that's what we're asking your board to authorize, so that we can do that.
And you're not offering a blanket waiver. It's more of a at your discretion, which I think is good, because those who can pay will.
Yeah.
And those who are struggling will call.
That's correct. So we can't offer, so I think I mentioned to you last time, we have a certain operating revenue needs that we have to have, and we also have a certain revenue needs for our debt coverage, paying debt service as well as debt coverage ratios. So accounting for all of those things, we have a little bit of cushion that we can, and this is well within that. And so the way we are willing to offer is to anybody that calls in and asks for relief, we should be able to accommodate that. Not as a blanket saying that you don't need to pay for the next year. That is not, we can't handle that.
And do we have any board members who have comments or questions?
Yeah, this is Director Lee. I have a question.
Hi, Director Lee.
Is this being publicized in any way or form?
I'm sorry, I did
I'm
not.
sorry, could you repeat? We're struggling a little bit to hear.
Sure. My question is this being publicized so that the residents are aware of this?
Was it?
Is it being publicized or
yes. If it's about, in terms of offering, we have already created the FAQs, and I think Nicole sent your board a list of actions that we've taken or we're taking. This is included in that. And then also, I think we have some of you board members have communications that you communicate with your constituencies, and we're trying to include this information as best as we can in there as well. So there's many ways that and also we're talking with the other contributing agencies, because regional SAN bills are on the other contributing agencies as well, and they're trying to also do through their advertisements and things like that.
But we're publicizing it in a way that is basically saying, if you're struggling, call us, and we'll try to work with you. It's not a blanket.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. No, this is Director Lee again. This is great. I think that allowing you discretion so that you can take it case by case makes logical sense. And this is, consistent with what we're doing in Elk Grove. So thank you very much. I would move the item.
Yes.
I happily second, Larry Carr.
So we have a motion by Director Lee, a second by Director Carr. Good morning, Director Carr. And please call the vote.
Director Bruins?
Aye.
Director Carr?
Aye.
Frost?
Aye.
Howell?
Aye.
Kennedy?
Aye.
Natoli?
Aye.
Peters? Peters? Cerna?
Aye.
McGarvey?
Aye.
And Lee.
Aye.
And the motion passes with the members present.
Thank you for thinking of that. I think it's really great that we're going to be able to help some of those that are struggling. Okay, next item, please.
Acting as your Sacramento Area Sewer District, District Separate Matters. Item number 8, resolution of intention to lien delinquent sewer service charges. Set public hearing for July 22nd, 2020.
Okay, Mr. Mastretti.
Good morning, Chair, board members. My name is Joe Mastretti. I'm the Chief Financial Officer for SASD. If I could get the overhead projector turned on for this. This is the attachment that's in your board package. This is the time of year where we start the process to lien the delinquent sewer charges onto the tax roll. The notice was sent out at the end of April, as we do every year. Approximately 20,000 accounts are delinquent, which currently represents about 6.4% of all of our accounts. Typically, between now and the time that the delinquencies actually end up on the tax roll, we usually have about 2% of these of the accounts get paid off. So we end up with about 4.4% the last 3 or 4 years. We think that's going to continue. As of this week, approximately 2,000 of those accounts have already come current. Most of these people were actually on the lien in the prior year, so we have a certain number of our customers are chronically delinquent, approximately 65%. So it's a very high percentage of these delinquent customers are delinquent every year. All of these delinquencies that you're seeing here, the 20,000 accounts roughly, were all delinquent before the pandemic lockdown started. So this is pretty normal level of delinquencies for us right now. And going forward, we think it's going to actually come out pretty close to what it's been in the past. We don't think it's going to be that much different than prior years.
Okay. Do we have any questions from the board? Do we have, I'm sorry, is that Director Natoli?
Yes, I just had a question of Joe, if I could.
Yes.
Joe, with those that run delinquent year to year, is there some sort of strategy that people employ that they just allow it to roll to their tax bill and then somehow it gets paid either by the impound account or, I mean, with penalties attached, I don't know what the strategy is there, but do they get some tax benefit by writing it off that way versus showing it as a utility charge? I'm just curious. Is there, because that's a pretty, robust number for folks to just keep rolling year to year.
I really couldn't tell you what each individual's motivation for doing that. I'm sure there's a wide variety. Some of them might even look at it as a short-term loan, although it's a pretty high interest rate, considering all the... But, there's probably lots of different reasons. Some people maybe just for the convenience, they don't bother to pay that bill. They just pay the tax bill.
Right.
I really couldn't... I don't really know enough about the detail of what type of customers make up that. We haven't seen that kind of detail, but...
Yeah, I was just curious with 20,000 accounts and, getting that down to 15 or whatever, or 12,000, it's still, I say a pretty good sizable number, and I just was curious because it's very consistent, as you pointed out, and certainly the chart says that. So I didn't know if you had any insight with your work throughout the years in the industry, but okay, that's all I had. Thanks. I need the item.
Thank you, Director Natoli. Any other directors with questions or comments?
I'll second it. This is Jeannie.
Did you move it or second it,
Director
Jean?
Natoli moved.
Oh, Director Natoli. I'm sorry. I'm having trouble hearing. I must be getting old. Director, we have a motion from Director Natoli, a second from Director Bruins, and please call the roll.
Director Bruins?
Call the vote.
Aye.
Carr?
Aye.
Frost?
Aye.
Howell?
Aye.
Kennedy?
Aye.
Natoli?
Aye.
Peters? Cerna?
Aye.
McGarvey,
Aye.
and Lee.
Aye.
And the motion passes with the members present.
Okay, thank you. And so at this time, we do have some communications received and filed for your review in the packet. And are there any board members who have any announcements or comments that they would like to add before we adjourn our meeting? Hearing none, this meeting's adjourned.
Bye, everyone.